Up and off for the day to see 3 temples. First though, we need to get a pass to enter. With that done, we headed out to the first temple. The path had some sandy parts, making it tricky at times. We got there and were greeted by the standard army of children trying to sell us stuff.
It's a magnet. English numbers 1.
We got to our first temple, Ta Prohm, which is famous for having the movie Tomb Raider filmed here. The temple is overgrown with strangler fig and silk cotton trees, creating a very neat effect throughout the whole place. There were many carvings throughout the whole temple. The temple also had a lot of debris from parts of it that had fallen down over the years. While this caused many places to be blocked off and not allowed to go to, there were still plenty of places you were allowed to venture in through. There were a ton of tourists in this temple. It actually ended up causing Catherine and I to become separated at one point, just because the crowd of people got too thick. I wandered around on my own and eventually found her in the end. It was back to the bikes and off to Temple 2. Today had an interesting extra flavor, as there was also a half marathon being run on the day. We'd see signs for it every once in a while biking past this area. We made it to the second temple, Angkor Wat. This temple was 3 stories tall and had a lot of large and well-preserved carvings in it. The carvings showed a variety of activities including fighting, eating, traveling, and cockfighting. This temple was in better shape than the previous one, but did still have some off-limit areas and potentially dangerous sections to those not paying attention. We were able to travel all the way to the top of the temple. Back in the day, higher caste people lived on the higher parts of the temple. Back to our bikes again, and on our way to the third temple. We rode along an 8-meter high wall to get there. Along the way, there was some nice scenery, but you had to be careful. A couple people ended up falling during this part, but fortunately it wasn't off the wall. After some patch-ups, a quick lunch, and one of our guides being licked by a cow, it was time to explore Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat, where the marathon also ended, is a square kilometer in size if you include the moat. From a simple top-down view, the temple is basically symmetrical with 4 entrances. There were a few statues, a lot of carvings, and a ton of tourists throughout. At one point, the Khmer Rouge had taken shelter in here, and there's still bullet holes in the walls from when the temple was taken back. There was also large areas for storing water when the temple was under active, non-tourist use. Most of the windows in the area had stone bars on them. To get to the top level of Angkor Wat, you were required to wait in line and I believe pay an additional fee. The line was really long, so we didn't bother with it. The temple stairs in general were pretty steep throughout. Within the temple was a few smaller temples. There was also monkeys traveling around and getting whatever food they could from people. We finished up at Angkor Wat and hopped back on our bikes and headed back to the hotel. We biked for about 33 kilometers in total today. We headed out for dinner. The food was nothing special, but the restaurant did have a moat. We checked out the town again, bought some souvenirs and exotic chips, and headed to bed.